So, hey guys, this is the brown haired unicorn again. Um, I've decided that my first streaming will be on bullying because to me it's a topic that is no longer getting the limelight or the attention that it should be getting. I mean, seriously, there's still people, children of ages between as young as, 12, 13 to as old as, 18, 19, 20, 22 who are still out there right now, slitting their wrists, drinking bleach, whatever it might be, to, end their lives because they think nobody loves them, nobody freaking wants them in the world, etc., etc., etc. And as a bully myself, and as somebody who was bullied, you know, I totally feel like this is something that still needs to be addressed in today's era, or in today's age, whatever. So I'm going to be doing that. Um, there is a large piece of me that, of course, wishes this didn't have to be done still, because it's so important to, love one another. And, I'm still guilty of not completely loving certain other people. I'll admit that, but, it's a learning curve, it's a growing process. But at the same time, I have learned that you need to be open, you need to be aware of your actions towards others. You need to be aware that even if you're not aware of it, you are having an effect on other people. And you are, if it matters to you, shaping their opinions of you with every move you make. And being one that was bullied so much, yeah, everybody else's opinion damn well mattered to me. Absolutely. But at the same time, I was also sort of caught in a middle ground, I guess, for lack of a better term, because my reason for getting bullied is because I'm autistic. Um, I was diagnosed at the age of 9.5, somewhere in there. And I think any kid, who, especially those who are bullied, or those who are not seen as good enough at home by their own parents, um, would tell you really, really quickly that that age in society, or that age group in society rather, is not nice, and they quickly show you what you should do if you want to not be one of the ones marginalized, not be one of the ones bullied. And that is turn on those smaller, but like you, but who are just like you rather. And so that's what I did. And that's why I was a bully myself, is because I turned on the other outcasts and the other autistics in my middle high school. And I'm not proud of that to this day. That is one of my biggest regrets, actually. And in my case, I got really lucky because the two girls that I hurt the most have forgiven me at this point. And if they somehow happen to be seeing this, thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Ellie. But I got really lucky. Yeah, they forgave me, and I would actually call them friends at this point. But I was a complete bitch to them. I was absolutely, totally uncalled for towards them, and I take full responsibility of that now, like I should, because I'm, a full-grown 31-year-old adult. Autism or not, that's not a freaking excuse, and anybody who says it is just doing nobody any favors, in my opinion. So yeah, I wish that more people understood that there needs to be a stronger front against it, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like, I'm still hearing stories in my state, and Vermont is supposedly one of the most, forward states in terms of any, social justice cause, or, anything to deal with, differences, et cetera, et cetera. But even in my own state here in Vermont, I am still hearing, discrimination on a daily basis against, fellow autistics or people suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. And if that's not the current term, I'm sorry. It's still what I call it, and I suffer from it too. So I do apologize for not being in the know. But yeah, I suffer from PTSD because I got raped by my first fiance. And yeah, so that's why I suffered PTSD. And so I know all too well what the hell the effects are of, mental disorder on top of mental disorder. And yeah, I know mental disorder is not a politically correct term anymore. Everybody can go bite me in the butt. I really don't care. So yeah, there is just too much at stake at this point to, ignore, to keep ignoring it. And we still are, though, because it's no longer cool or, in vogue or in fashion or whatever to report on all the, the teen suicides, but they're still happening. In every little town across the country, they are still happening. They are still making local headlines left and right. So why are they not making national ones anymore? Because they should be, as far as I'm concerned. It's not right. It's not fair. We're so worried about the next big fad, like immigration or, what's going on down in South America, et cetera, et cetera. But we can't even take 5 minutes for our own kids anymore, it feels like. Like, my own parents were awful. Like, I know firsthand what it's like to not come from an understanding background. I do. My family was so dysfunctional, it wasn't even funny. And it's not something that should still have to be said, and a story that should still have to be told, but it is still one that has to be told because it's still happening, like I said, in household after household in every small town across America. For example, I came out to my parents at 17 that I was a bisexual, and they just sort of laughed at me and acted like I had no idea what the hell I was talking about. My own parents. And again, sadly, that is a reason why actually so many teens are still killing themselves, because they don't have anybody who understands them and who's willing to, put in the time for them or with them. Yet we're way more concerned about, the next American Idol or the next, Olympic Games or whatever it might be. Not that the Olympic Games aren't important, but you get the idea here. And it just so disheartens me. It just so disheartens me. I learned a really important lesson about 10 years ago that I want to share with you all, hoping to spark something somewhere in someone. I was doing social science work or whatever you want to call it. I was doing social work. And in this case, it was doing self-advocacy work in a paid role for a local mental health agency. And my boss at the time, Wendy, pointed something out to me. She said that the self-advocates, the members of the group I was leading in this paid position needed to know my human side versus my professional side or whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm here to do a job. And she said, well, yes, that's true, but you have the one thing that me and Joe, that was another employee there who was, neurotypical or, not learning differently or how you want to look at it. And he and me, this was Wendy speaking still, don't forget this, he and me and all the other, people here that aren't you who are working here don't have autism like you do. The people you're leading, this group you're here for, needs to know that that's what they're here for, is to, because you have what they have. And it finally clicked. It finally made sense. And so I didn't have the courage to take that to heart yet, to really, put that to test, sort of. Like, I tried a little bit here and there after she, gave me her, little speech or whatever. Like, I was supposed to be doing a workshop with the group or whatever, and I tried to, get more on their level with some, personal examples, but I don't think it went over so well. But overall in life, I've taken it to heart a great deal. And I think it's shown and taught me that we need more, not just love, but more, I don't know what to say here, more, I've got your back, you've got my back, kind of, like, and that goes beyond love, I think, because you can show love to somebody by simply, offering them a hug, but then it's kind of stopped at that hug, if that makes sense, unless they decide to pass it on to somebody else, which would be a great thing, but I'm saying if they don't, it stopped at that hug, and so that was a nice little thing, but it was just like a momentary gesture, kind of, between two people, and as lovely as it was, it doesn't have a wider impact. And so I think we need more solidarity in the ranks, and it is still so hard to do that, though, because it's still so ingrained in our younger generations that popular is right, different is wrong, and anything in between is fair game, so to speak, in terms of who gets bullied and who doesn't. And so I really wish that I had been one of the disruptors. I really honestly to this day regret not being one of the disturbances American society especially needs still. And what I mean by that is one of the people who didn't hide behind the totally delusional idea of, oh, I'm normal enough, even though I'm autistic, that, I don't stick out. I can, hide in the cracks or whatever and not get noticed. Oh no, I still got noticed. I still got singled out every single freaking day I went to school. I got beat up. I got, verbally bashed until, I wanted to run to the bathroom and cry. I tried to kill myself more times than I can even count at this point. And on top of that, I had parents at home who were not recognizing my identity. So yeah, I had it from all sides. Like, too many kids still today get it, and I feel like this is a symptom in American society that is going way too unnoticed at this point, and that we really need to bring more attention to it, because it's not just stopping at the schoolyard gates anymore. It's following kids home. It's coming from home, and that is really, really messed up. And from where I sit anyway, it feels like no one is willing to acknowledge home front bullying, or whatever you want me to call it, but it goes on way too often. And it's still, to my way of thinking, or my impressions of the world, still just being swept up under the rug. And I just want to ask why, because it's not right. I suffered from it for far too long. I had parents who, unfortunately, were autistic biased, not autistic inclusive. And I suffered at their hands every friggin' day for 19 years. So when I hear, the stories from the generations today of, oh, my parents didn't believe that I was gay or that I was transgender or whatever, I just totally feel for them. And my heart just totally goes out to them, because I remember my own dad laughing in my face about it. So yeah, I wish America would wake up, and I wish America would, get with it, because we need to. And I had a total dialogue written out for this, and I didn't use it, but I might or might not leave this up or replace it with that. So we'll see. But here ends the first non-random live stream for the brown-haired unicorn. Thank you.